Well, I noticed a lot of new faces this evening, and I'm so glad you all came. And I want you to know that this is a safe place to share. So if you want to tell us your story, there'll be no judgment.
Hi, my name's Charlie. As you know, I am a glutton for punishment. I have a problem, and that problem is beautiful, beautiful automobiles. So today, I am actually out of town to celebrate Papa's 80th birthday. The man, the myth, give it up for Papa. My partner in crime when dealing with all these cars that we love so much. So I just wanted to take this opportunity to update everybody on the Audi A4 situation. As you probably know, a few weeks ago, I uploaded a video that we had just purchased a 2003 Audi A4 3.0 6-speed manual transmission car that we were pretty stoked about getting. It was a shady deal to say the least, but it was a good deal, we thought. Yeah, it turned out not to be a great deal. The car had 78,000 miles on it. It needed tons of work, especially cosmetic stuff, but the engine bay looked great. It ran great. It shifted great. The clutch was tight. Everything seemed great. So 78,000 miles, even for a 2003, yeah, it seemed plausible because of the condition of the engine. So we thought, man, this is really worth putting some money into, even repainting or wrapping or whatever we wanted to do. It's totally worth it because it's 78,000 miles. We can literally drive this thing for a while and then sell it off when we're ready and, hopefully get at least our money back. And that was the plan. So the first thing we had to do was get it to pass smog. We took it into the smog place. It passed emissions with flying colors, then failed because it had a check engine light, which it didn't have a check engine light. Because the guy we bought it from removed the check engine bulb, there was no check engine light. So I plugged it into our OBDII. It showed a oil level sensor, which is a very easy fix. It's at the very bottom of the oil pan. You can replace that super easy. We were going to do a video on that. And the other thing was we noticed the speedometer wasn't working consistently. It worked most of the time, but sometimes you drive it and nothing would happen. So it also showed our speed sensor issue. We ended up taking it to a professional shop because we knew we were in trouble already. We knew something was up. We better get some professionals looking at this thing before we put too much time or money into it. So that was the plan. Took it to a German shop that we work with a lot, and they informed us that that cluster was from a 2007. So whatever 2007 Audi they got that from had 78,000 miles on it, not the one that we purchased. We were scammed. We were scammed. They removed it, put a new cluster in with different miles on it. They took out the check engine light so we couldn't see it. This is not rocket science. We could have avoided this 100%. And that's kind of why I'm doing this video. My initial plan was to just remove the Audi video altogether before it released and not even worry about it. You win some, you lose some. We lost. It's embarrassing to get scammed. There's so many of you out there that are gonna be like, yeah, this was so easy to see. What an idiot, you deserve it. I'll take it out, it's true. So we were gonna remove that, but then I started thinking that that's part of buying cars. It really is. You're taking that chance. You can be prepared. You can do way better than we did as far as being prepared, but you're always taking a chance with the used car. It happens. I think one thing that I'm taking from this that I want other people to know is you may not think that there's people out there that are that crooked. Not disclosing little things about the car. In the price range we look at cars, there's always stuff that the seller didn't tell us. Always, 100% of the time. And some of it's shady, some of it could be oversight, some of it is, man, you get what you pay for. So, but to roll back the odometer, to remove the check engine light. I mean, this guy was crooked, and he set us up, and boom. As far as the car goes, it was still a desirable car. A guy who actually, that I came into contact with, that actually had test driven the car before we bought it, and he was still interested in it. He just knew that that guy was shady, and he was hiding some stuff, and he couldn't figure out everything that he was walking into. But because we walked into it and it dropped, the hammer dropped on our head, he knew what he was dealing with a lot better, and he still wanted the car. We took a loss on it. I don't know if he's using it for parts. He's an Audi guy. He seemed really familiar with the A4s, and he's had a bunch of them, or has a bunch of them. Maybe he's using this for parts. Maybe he's going to go through the steps it takes with the DMV to register it in the DMV system with the proper mileage. There was a lot of strange things there, but this guy had no problem doing that stuff. For us, when we found out that that thing probably has like 200,000 miles on it, which to us, it just wasn't worth it. To this guy, he had no problem with that. So whether he's using it for parts or whether he's going to restore it, good on him. But yeah, we lost on this one, and we just had to cut our losses. Anything else we were putting into the car, we were just gonna be losing more money likely. So what this video is actually about is just some things that we know that we didn't necessarily do, but that we know you can do to protect yourself when buying a used car. Okay, so I'm gonna interrupt this list before it even starts to add the most obvious, which is a VIN report. So there's Carfax, there's VIN audit, there's a million different services that you can pay for, and they'll give you varying levels of information at varying prices. But basically what it is you put in the VIN number, and it gives you a vehicle history from owners to how many times it's been registered, the mileage of different registrations. Also does things like checks for salvage title or flood damage or whatever. So they're very easy to do, not too expensive, especially when you consider how much you are spending on a car. So that's the first and foremost thing that you should do. I didn't actually miss it, but my phone started to overheat, and somehow that video, or that part of the video, got lost. So I wanted to make sure and add it so you guys know that's number one thing that you should do. Okay, Self, carry on with your list. Number one thing that you can do is have records, paperwork, oil change receipts. You know, they'll put the date and the mileage on there, and you can verify with the odometer when you're buying the car. That's fantastic. Also, a really good trick is check engine light. And this is most cars. I don't know if this is across the board, but I think it is. When you go to turn the car on, when you first turn the key, just before it turns over, you'll see all the lights come on the dashboard. Your check engine light should come on at that point. Look for it. If it's not there, that means they could have turned it off, and that's an issue. Obviously a huge red flag. The other thing we recommend doing, and not many people do this surprisingly, but it's so easy. Every car from 1997 on is required to have what they call an OBDII system or outlet. You buy this OBDII scanner, and it literally is just a serial port that plugs in. Anybody can do this. You can use a Bluetooth version that goes straight to your phone, or you can buy a unit like we have, but it plugs in and it will read any codes that might be turning on the check engine light. You don't have to necessarily even know what the codes are. You can Google it, put the kind of car it is and Google the code, and it'll tell you. It's an amazing system, very easy. I recommend it to everybody. Even if you don't work on your own car, you can get an idea of what's wrong with it and how much it's gonna cost to fix it. So when you take it to a mechanic, you're not getting scammed by the mechanic. Just a very easy thing. These tools are like 20 bucks and up for one of these things. So there's no reason for everyone not to have one. So take an OBDII scanner, plug it in. Even if there's no check engine light, plug it in and it'll scan it and let you know that there's nothing wrong with the car. So that's another great thing you can do. I live in California. They're on the DMV website. Another great tool is you can check the registration fees that are owed on a car. Everybody we buy a car from, oh, this is my cousin's car. I'm selling it from my brother, my neighbor. Yeah, everything should be fine. And most of the time, DMV, you just look at the sticker and you see that it's up to date and you know that the registration fees have been paid. But Sometimes we've even had people put fake stickers on there. Actually a real sticker, but from some other car. So there are, you know, $500-600 owed to the DMV for you to bring it up to date. You can go on the DMV website, at least here in California, and I'm sure it's the same everywhere, but you can put in the VIN number and you can put in the license plate number, and it will tell you the approximate fees that are due on the vehicle, also how much it's going to cost to transfer the title and registration into your name. That's another thing that people get scammed on a lot that you can protect yourself against. And the last thing you can do to protect yourself is the smog certificate. That's the seller's responsibility. Technically, the seller's responsibility to smog the vehicle and have the smog certificate, a current smog certificate. They're usually good for like 90 days, at least here in California. They're good for 90 days. And it's like $50 for them to do. It's not a huge deal. They should really do it. If they're confident in the vehicle, if they're selling it in the condition they should be selling it in, there's no reason why they shouldn't have that smog certificate. So that's the last thing you can do to really protect yourself. Now here's the thing, and here is the sad reality, is that we are purchasing cars specifically in a price range and category where there's stuff that needs to be done. They're not in great condition. The sellers are usually needing the money more than they're needing the headache of these cars, or they fed up with it. Realistically, if you want to get a good deal, sometimes you have to compromise on your expectations from the seller. These things that I've outlined, if you're buying a car that you want to last, it's for your family, or if it's for your daily driver, or something that you need, you're investing in order to use it, you should be a stickler for all of these things that we've pointed out here. But if you're just trying to do this as a hobby and you're trying to get a good deal, the sad truth is sometimes we gotta sacrifice. And that's what we did on the Audi. We sacrificed everything. We sacrificed all of these things. We didn't require any of this stuff. I don't know, we just literally took a guy's word for it and we bought the car. So, lesson learned. I feel dumb, and we're putting it on the internet so everybody can know, but it is what it is, and I think it's an important lesson for you guys to know. There are people out there. I like to think that most people are good, but to go out of your way this much to alter a vehicle to sell it is dirty, man. That's real dirty. But you need to know that those people are out there. You have to know that this is a reality that does happen. I did some research. I mean, it happens a lot. And I guess, at least in Los Angeles, that's a crime that's going up. That's a federal crime. That's a federal offense, selling a car after you've doctored the odometer and not reporting it to the DMV. Even on the vehicle history report, the mileage had been reported as like 40,150 miles, something like that. That specific number, like a bunch of years in a row. So somebody had done some shady stuff with this all the way through. I don't know how they did it. I've never seen anything like it, but it was way beyond our pay grade. We cut our losses. So no more Audi A4, at least not for now. Maybe we'll get another crack at one, but that was not the one for us. It was worth a lot more to somebody else. I wish that person good luck. It's a sweet car. I would love to have seen that thing return to its glory. But for us, the journey continues. So what will we get next? I don't know. I still got my plate full with my 300 CE. My SL is running great, and we're ready for more adventures. But for this weekend, we're just relaxing. If you have anything else you want to add to help potential car buyers, put it down below in the comments. If you want to tell us again what idiots we are for falling for this, put it down in the comments. Regardless, we appreciate you guys watching. We appreciate you guys coming along for this journey. I hope this is useful to somebody. We lost on this one, but this is a hobby for us. We're not putting in so much money that we can't afford to lose it on some level, but it still hurts. Like, it's not a great thing. But if this would have been like we were depending on this vehicle to get our family to work and school and stuff like that, I mean, it's a disaster, and it's sad that there's people out there that would do this, but they will do this. So I need you guys to hopefully learn something from this. We appreciate you. Like, subscribe, share this video with anybody who's looking at cars. This might help them. Otherwise, we shall see you on the next one.